Statistics said I'm supposed to be a crackhead like my mother. Statistics said I was supposed to be a high school dropout, but God said no. I command you to be in this world. So what I'm telling you right now is to don't look at your obstacles. Look at who you are and believe in who you are.
After hearing Terica's story and saying, you know, I don't just buy homes anymore, I buy communities and I name the streets after my kids.
Watching my son walk up to his street sign. Looking at my children's names, Sheldon, Natea, Layla, and Tyreek. How you feel about that?
That hit different.
It hit different?
That's a different feeling right there.
It's a different feeling?
Even on a cloudy day, it still look good.
Your children and your grandchildren are going to be able to come see that.
Yeah. And my grandchildren.
That's right. Everybody in the family.
Love you, Mom. Love you.
Chat right now. Somebody say generational wealth in the chat right now. I am an abuse survivor. I'm a foster care alumni. I'm the author of Frightened, Scared, and Alone No More. That is my life story. But more than that, right? I'm a devil beater. I'm a breaker of chains. How many of you in this room right now, the cycle is ending with you? Just go ahead and put me in the chat right now, because there's some of you that's going to be stumping the devil in the face tonight. There's some of you that's here on an assignment right now. There's some of you right here, right now in this room that said, I have had enough of this. I have had enough of living in poverty. I had enough of being poor. I had enough of not being able to make ends meet. I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired. My children acting out. My husband ain't doing right. My wife ain't doing right. Whatever your situation is, you're here on the assignment tonight and you're in the right room, because when that cycle ran into you, God dogged you in that cycle. It is your responsibility. But aside from that, I'm super spicy. So most of the people that's in my inner circle will tell you that, you know, I teach from passion. I teach from the struggle, right? I teach from where I come from. You know, the streets made me strong. So when I'm teaching you guys and I'm giving you guys the education, I'm not trying to use big words. I'm not trying to be the smartest in the room. I'm trying to explain to you guys how I took some money and I made it work. Right. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. If you're like, yo, I'm here for this. OK, I'm here for this. Drop some fire in the chat. But how many of you know there's a story before the story? I just want to know who I'm talking to tonight. Right. How many of you got a survival story? Because I know I have a survival story. And before I can go ahead and tell you guys the real estate plays that I made, even starting with $0, I'm going to teach that tonight. But how many of us have a struggle? A struggle story, a survival story that we had to get through to even just be existing right now. You see, those are the people I want to talk to. That's why I created this room, because I'm crazy enough to believe that there's a few other people out there like me that's willing to go all in, to do what they have to do. I don't care what my childhood looked like. I don't care where I come from. I don't care about any of that. What I care about right now is ending the cycle. And some of us have been through hell and back. But I'm telling you now that we all have a survival story, and I'm going to share mine with you guys. I'm not sharing it for sympathy. I'm sharing it because I want you to know that it's not your fault that the hell you went through when you were growing up, but it is your fault as an adult if you remain in it. It is your fault, right? So all of those slides that you've seen before, right, it shows that I'm a statistic breaker. But I come from a very toxic childhood. My survival skills had to kick in at a very early age. My mom was on drugs. And when I say drugs, I mean crack. I don't know if y'all remember that drug, right? People don't really talk about it that much no more, but my mom and my dad was on crack, okay? And I'm not sure if you ever experienced living with anyone that's on crack, but you never know who's going to walk through the door. I remember being left in the house for days at a time. At this point in time, it was me and my two sisters, and we're in the house. It's days, and my mother still haven't come back home. When I tell you, we had no food, we had no water, we had no power. It was miserable. And I remember my baby sister crying, and I knew why she was crying, But my oldest sister, she would sit on the sofa and she would swallow a penny just to keep us entertained, to keep us from focusing on the fact that we're hungry and that we're thirsty. There was nothing to drink. The water was off. And so I remember thinking, if I don't find us something to eat, we're going to die. As a child, 5 years old, if I don't find us something to eat, we're going to die, because I don't know when mom's coming back. But the last thing she said before she walked out that door was, she said, don't you dare open that door for nobody. How many of us grew up with them kind of parents back in the day? You be stuck in the house. You can't go nowhere. They out at the casino doing all kind of stuff, right? And you stuck in the house. So 2-3 days go by, my sister crying. I'm like, yo, we got to find something to eat. And I remember opening up the front door. And you ever been into a dark place, and your eyes have to adjust to the sunlight? And that's like the transition I was in. So I open up the door and I run outside as fast as I can, but I'm like this because the sun is so bright. And I grab the first thing I see. I grab 2 hands full of grass and I run back in the house. My heart is beating uncontrollably out of my chest. I pray that no one has seen me, because if mama knew that I went outside, it was going to be trouble. And when I say trouble, I'm talking about whooping with an extension cord trouble. So I pray that nobody saw me go outside. So when I brought the grass back inside for me and my sisters to eat, my baby sister, the main one that was crying, the one who was home, she was like, I'm not eating that. But I said, if we don't, we're going to die. I remember my mother coming home shortly afterwards. And during that time, whenever me and my sisters was at home by ourselves, she had a can of beer on a nightstand and it was half empty. But we drank it during the time she was gone all those days because of the simple fact we was thirsty. We had no water. And after being gone for all of those days, the first thing she noticed is that the can is empty. Now that I'm older, I probably should have thrown that can away. But hey, I didn't know. I was a child. So the first thing she asks is, who drank it? And I look at my baby sister and I look at my older sister. And you got to keep in mind, children of abuse, they are terrified. They're traumatized. I don't know why God made me the way that he did. But at that early age, I knew that I had to be like the helper, like the protector of my siblings. And although all 3 of us drank it, I was the one who took the blame. I said it was me. And before I knew it, she started whooping me. She started swinging her extension cord. She started beating me. And I lay on a fetal position while she beat me constantly. I couldn't stand her. At that age, I could not stand her, but I loved her. I don't know if that makes sense to some of y'all, but I'm sharing this story with you guys because at the end of the day, I had to get through this story to be able to get to where I'm at right now. So she's gone ahead and sent my siblings away to their godparents' house. At this time, I didn't have a godparent. And so it was just me and her. And I never liked being alone with her. I never liked being at home with her because you never knew who you were going to get. And we had this type of door, was called a screen door. How many of you guys remember a screen door? Right? You can, it's like, wood and screen in the middle. And she had the little hook on the inside, right? So nobody from the outside could open it. But if you walk up to it from the inside, you just unlatch the hook, open up the screen door, and you come in. Well, I remember a big old bang on the door. Boom, 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 boom. It's like they're tearing the door down. And they calling her name. And they're calling her name like aggressively, like very angry. And so she go to the door, she unlatched the hook, and she let them come in. And I'm trying not to listen to them, but I hear them fussing over her owing him money. Now you got to keep in mind, she just got through beating me. I see her and a man arguing, looking like they're about to fight. And I'm trying not to pay attention. And then they get quiet. And she calls me over there and she says, Terica, I need for you to be a big girl. It's time for you to grow up. I didn't know what she meant at that point in time. But I wanted to make her happy. I wanted to please her. I wanted to love her. So she said I had to take his hand. So as I take his hand, he's walking forward. My head is looking back at her. And I start to cry. I start to weep. I'm like, Mama, I'm so sorry. I promise I'll never go outside again. I promise I'll never drink the beer again. Mama, I'm so sorry. And as she starts to fade away, I'm still looking back at her. And I'm still being walked towards the bathroom. At the age of 5 years old, my mother sold me to her drug dealer. My body was destroyed. I will never forget the sound of the bathroom door closing. I will never forget the pain that I experienced. And at that moment, I did not know how could a God that everybody talked about, even at the age of 5, give me parents like this. I could not understand it. And so for most of my life, I was angry. I ended up in foster care because they found out all about the abuse and different things like that. I ended up in foster care for most of my life. Shout out to all my foster care alumni out there. We stick together. And so I'm in foster care, and they're putting me in mental hospital after mental hospital after mental hospital after mental hospital. They're saying everything is wrong with me. They're telling me I'm crazy. They're telling me that I'm a bad child. They're saying that, I'm going to end up on drugs like my mother. How many of us have heard these word curses spoken against us? But they didn't know that they was talking to a chain breaker. You see, at 16 years old, I got pregnant with my oldest son. And at 17 years old, after going from pillar to post, I ended up homeless up under the bridge in New Orleans, the Claiborne Bridge. Now, everything that happened to me up until that moment was not my fault, but I could not see that. I did not know how to see that. And so I'm under the Claiborne Bridge, and I'm holding my son, and I'm crying. And I'm angry, and I'm frustrated, and I'm, you just got so many different emotions. But I remember the tears falling down my face. And every tear I felt like represented something. I had tears of anger, tears of frustration, tears of loneliness, tears of abandonment, tears of rejection, tears of feeling ugly, tears of feeling unworthy. I had tear after tear after tear. But what I could not do, I could not allow my son to go through what I went through growing up. I couldn't allow it. So at that moment, I had to decide if I was going to be a victor or a victim. I had to decide if I was going to be a victor or a victim. One of the things I said is this: you're going to have to pick one, and you're going to have to pick it tonight. And this is the same exact lessons that I give to my inner circle. This is the same exact lessons that I teach on my 5-day property challenge. In life, no matter what we have been through, we have a choice to choose, faith or fear. Either way, both requires you to believe in something you cannot see. Either way. You got to pick a side. You got to choose. Either way. You can't see neither one. You can't see faith and you can't see fear, but you have to choose one. Under that bridge, I had to either choose fear or I had to choose faith. Fear is false evidence appearing real, or faith. I'm telling you something now. You are in the right room. If you're saying, I am a chain breaker, I am here to end the cycle. T, I got a story too, but I'm not about to let this story hold me back. I'm crazy enough to think that there's 2 or 3 people on this call with me tonight who's going to break some chains, who's going to look the enemy in the face and tell him he can't have you or your family. He cannot touch you. There's some people in this room right now who just needed just to be in this room to hear that you are strong, that you are capable, and you are able to make it through. You able to push through. I don't care what it looks like. The Bible tells us that he orders our steps. And if God is ordering our steps, then God dog it, I got to be walking in the right direction. So for those of you on here right now that has had to go through hell like me to be in the position that you in, some of you are successful and still a slave to your story. I'm telling you now, I'm breaking them chains off for you. You're no longer going to be in that bondage of slavery, that bondage of rejection, that bondage of anger, that bondage of frustration. You're not going to be there no more. I realized as soon as I chose me, everything around me started choosing me. So I knew that I wanted to create a room, right, where I was going to be speaking to some generational curse breakers, where I was going to be talking to people that was going to make time for investing, where I was going to talk to people who was going to put in the work, where I was going to talk to the people who wanted to be mentored, where I was going to talk to the people who's ready to invest in your education. I'm talking to those who's ready to scale and go to another level. If that's you, put me in the chat right now. If that's you, put me in the chat right now. You see, the devil messed up when he allowed me to get up. I don't know who that's for out there. He should have took me out at 5 years old. He should have killed me when he had a chance, because he didn't know that a David was being raised on the inside of me. Some of you got the strength of David, but you still acting like you that little shepherd boy David. But even the shepherd boy David knew how to rip lions and bears apart. Some of you got that supernatural strength in you that knows how to stand in the midst of adversity. Some of you got that supernatural strength. When Satan comes on the front line, you already got your stones and you ready to slay him. I'm talking to those people tonight. So in order for you to get there, in order for me to get to where I'm at, I had to get rid of the poor mindset. I had to get rid of the poor mindset, passing over opportunities repeatedly. You must be willing to get rid of the mindset. Stop counting the cost on every single thing. You see, every time I was going through a struggle, I was counting the cost. I never had a chance to see what value was because I was so caught up in the cost. Let me tell you guys something. Now one of you on this call who owns an iPhone, count the cost, period. Apple has done a fantastic job showing you the value of an iPhone. And because Apple has done a doggone good job showing you the value of an iPhone, they can have these iPhones now at $1,500 and you don't even blink. They got phones you can buy for $20 at Dollar General. But because you see the value in the Apple, because they done showed you the value in the Apple, you don't count the cost. That's the way you need to be in your situation. That's the way you need to be in your circumstances. You need to start promoting yourself as an Apple product because there's value inside of you. But as long as you don't see the value inside of you, you're going to continue counting the cost. I asked myself this question: why do wealthy people hang out with wealthy people and poor people hang out with poor people? And I came to the conclusion of this. It is conversation. I can't tell y'all how annoyed I get when someone comes to me with a poor conversation. A poor conversation is looking for victims. They are looking for people to sympathize with them and join in with them. It is very uncomfortable to be in a room with people talking about how they're making $100,000 a month and you're only making $2,000 a month. Poor will have you feeling like they bragging. That's the truth. Poor will have you feeling like they're bragging. Wealthy will have you feeling inspired. Yo, you made $100,000 in a month. Can you look? Let me get my pen and paper. I don't even want you to give me the game for free. I'm willing to invest in my education because there's something you doing right where you making $100,000 that I want to be a part of that. So go ahead and sign me up. I don't care what you got going on. There's some wealth conversations being had in that room and I need to be a part of it. So because I need to be a part of it, I don't see the cost. I see the value. There's value in being able to show me how to make 6 figures in a month. If you tell me to invest $1,000 to make 6 figures, I'm investing $1,000 because I'm going from 4 figures to 6 figures. There's something you doing that I don't know how to do. So we have to change our mindset. We have to get rid of the poor mindset of passing over opportunities repeatedly, because at the end of the day, I can present you guys with $1 million opportunity, but because of your poor mindset, you will not even see it. You will not even see it. You see, there's something about being in a room with those wealthy conversations where they're talking about wealth, where they're talking about how they're generating income, how they're talking about passive income, how they're talking about they got 1,000 doors and 2,000 doors and 5,000 doors, right? They're talking about all of these different things that they have. So I'm telling you now, in order to go to the next level, I need for you to be ready to scale. Somebody put scale in the chat right now. I just want to make sure you guys are still with me. Put scale in the chat right now. So when I started on this journey, I started with what's called the DVD method, right? And the reason why, how many of us remember the DVDs back in the day? These days, everything is just gone, okay? Like DVDs are gone, cassette tapes are gone, CDs are gone. Like everything is gone. I'm like, everything is literally digital now. My son asked me, and this is a true story. My son asked me, he said, "Mom, were you around when payphones was around?" I'm like, yeah, I used to talk on them, right? That's how we made phone calls. That's how me and your daddy was talking. What you talking about, payphones? He said, wow. See, when I think of 30 years ago, I think of like the 1960s, right? Y'all, 30 years ago is the 1980s. That's us. That's almost 40 years ago now. But the DVD method is simple. It's direction. It's the vehicle you need and the destination of where you're headed. You need to know where you're headed. You don't plan to walk and take the long way. So which vehicle will help you get there the fastest? And then you want to stay on the highway until you see your exit. Why is the DVD method so important? Because it's important to know exactly where you are headed. The reason why some of you are so frustrated right now in life with your finances is because you have no clue where you're headed. You know how come I know you don't have no clue where you're headed? Because you are seeking for something to get you to a better place. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's you, put me. A clear DVD plan allows you to head in the right direction with no distractions, with no detours, and with no interruptions. I'm telling you now, when I put you on the highway, the only time you're going to make your gas stops is when it's scheduled. That's how important it is to know. When you get on that highway, you can't have no detours. You can't have detours look like family members. Detours look like children being rebellious. Doing exactly what they want, but doing it all wrong. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever prepared for a road trip? Right? There's a lot of preparation that goes on whenever you're preparing for a road trip, right? Such as, what vehicle are we taking? Like, I'm taking my family to Disney World after Christmas, right? So it's 7 of us going. I know that I need either a minivan or I need a really large SUV. Why is that? Because we need to be able to fit the people who's riding with us in the car. I need to take the fastest vehicle possible. Now, what does it look like if I don't know what vehicle I need to get to Disney? What would it look like if I'm piling 7 people on a tractor, or 7 people in a truck, or 7 people in a compact car? That's why it's important to know the vehicle. You got to choose the right vehicle so that way you don't have to realize halfway on your trip you're uncomfortable. We squished. There's too many people in here. This car don't go fast enough, right? So then not only does that preparation go in there, you got to make sure you have enough gas money. You want to know how many times you're going to have to stop. You're going to look at the route. You're going to see if you need to book any hotels along the way. You're going to need to know how long it takes you to actually get to the destination. And when you get to the destination, how long do you plan on staying there, baby? Or is that the final destination? That's what you got to ask yourself. So the direction of it is, how much money do you want to make as an investor? That's the direction you need. Don't just start investing in real estate because everybody say, yo, I'm making money in real estate. No, how much money do you need to be you? Put it in the chat right now. T, I need $5,000 a month passive. T, I need $2,000 a month passive. T, I need $1,000 a month passive. Go ahead and start talking to me. Tell me how much money you need to make to become an investor. And do you have the time? You see, some of you expecting that you're just going to make all of this money in real estate, but put in no time. Some of you think you can take shortcuts, listen to half of the information, and then by the time you get into a deal, you get a haircut. Do you have the time? That's why direction is important. So when I'm training my inner circle, I'm like, hey, what direction are you headed in? You can't come to me. You talking about you going to Miami, and then you going to Tijuana, and then you going to Miami, Florida, and then you're going to Orlando. And where is your direction? Some of y'all zigzagging through life. I mean, you just going through the fast lanes. Any opportunity come, you there. Oh, stocks, I'm there. Oh, real estate, boom, I'm there. Oh, you chasing all of these rabbits and you haven't caught none, and now you're frustrated. That's what direction looks like. To be very clear, to be very precise. I'm headed in this direction. I want to make $5,000 a month as a real estate investor. And yes, I have the time to do it. Clear direction. What are you doing, Terica? I'm investing in enough real estate so I can make $5,000 a month. Oh, can you go out with us to dinner tonight? Sorry, I don't have the time because I already committed the time to my real estate investments. I committed the time to breaking these chains. I committed the time to being a cycle breaker. I committed the time to being a statistic breaker. I'm sorry, I can't do what y'all doing right now. I can't go out to the parties right now. I'm sorry, I don't want to have girls' night right now. I need bricks nights, okay? I need my bricks to be able to take care of me and my family. So while I was building, everybody else was partying. I remember coming to Lafayette, Louisiana, and we all had $10,000 from FEMA, and we all blew it equally. Me and all my family, we got $10,000 after Hurricane Katrina being trapped in the city, and we all blew the money equally. You know why? Because I had no direction. I was zigzagging. Come on, y'all, let's go eat at Ruth Chris. We didn't even know how to eat steaks, y'all. We up there going to Ruth Chris, eating our steaks well done, eating lobster, going to Ruth Chris 2 to 3 times a week, zigzag, going out to the parties and networking and doing all this, zigzag, going out doing this shopping, overspending for our children's birthday parties, zigzag. I had no direction. I had no direction. So then the next thing is the vehicle in real estate. It's like an octopus. There's so many legs, right? There's so many tentacles, and everything looks shiny like a diamond. And you just want to do them all because you done sat in your house. You done watched this foolishness on HGTV. Like they really fixed and flipped that house in that amount of time. Until now, you see they showing the fine print of how long it actually takes to do these things. So some of you may choose fix and flip. But if you're trying to make $5,000 a month, fix and flips is not going to do that. Fix and flips is going to give you large sums of money, but it's one of the most highest risk vehicles in real estate. You can lose a whole lot faster on fix and flips than you can in multifamily, depending on how you buy. For those of you who saying, I want $30,000, hey, maybe a fix and flip is for you. For those of you who saying, I just want to make an extra $100,000 a year, T, then maybe fix and flips are for you. For those of you who saying, I just want to replace my income, then you're focusing on multifamily, right? They got developments, they got single family investing, mobile home parks, parking spaces, storage units, retail spaces, office spaces. Y'all can even rent money. I mean, y'all can even make money renting your kitchen out on Peer Space. I bet y'all didn't even know that. Take a picture of your kitchen. Shoot, people pay to go cook in your kitchen. Why? Because some people live in tiny apartments and they have a cooking, they have like this cooking business where they got to serve plates and stuff, and they may just need a bigger kitchen. There's so many ways to make money in real estate, guys. I will be on here for days, but I will be talking more about other ways of investing in real estate during my 5-day challenge. I want to be able to challenge you guys. Spend 5 days with me. I promise you, I promise you, you're not going to regret it, right? So then it's like, okay, after you choose your vehicle, okay, after you choose your vehicle, now it's the destination. Can y'all do me a favor and just close your eyes? Can you tell me what freedom looks like and feels like for you? Do you know exactly when you will stop? Can you see exit 31, exit 22, exit 45? Can you feel what that freedom feels like? Just imagine. Nobody telling you to clock in or clock out. I didn't even know what the heck PTO was. They had to explain that to me. You mean to tell me I got to ask for permission to take off and then they determine if I get paid time off? What? Oh no, freedom looks like not having to ask nobody for a doggone thing but God, the only one who's my provider. That's what freedom looks like for me. Freedom looks like owning me. You see, this is my destination. And I'm going to get through this slide without crying because the enemy think he has a hold on my son. But I'm telling you now that the devil can't have me or my family. But how many of you know when you are a chain breaker, when you're a generational curse breaker, the people in your family who did not deal with it is not going to help you stop it. So sometimes some of y'all may look like the only one in your family. You look crazy to everyone, but to God, you look radical. You're doing something completely different. You're doing everything they're telling you not to do. And when I look up and I look around and I say, wow, God, this is the reward for my obedience. Ending the cycle with us, teaching our own children how to invest, owning our own time, creating passive income for 3 generations so they can sit at their own table. The freedom to say, no, I don't want to do it. Some of you don't even have the freedom to say no. When COVID came around, you were so confused and you just was double-minded about the COVID shot. They said, if you don't take this shot, you will not be able to work here. And some of you had to take it. You didn't have the power to say no. So you had to take it because you looking at your children that you got to feed. And you like, if I don't feed them, then what I'm going to do? I don't know how I'm going to make it. So I got to take this. They forced that against your will. I can't wait to America sue them for forcing that down people's throat, threatening them, threatening their lives. People that's been at their job 20, 30, 40 years being threatened because they don't want to take a freaking vaccine that didn't have no results. Nothing proven from it. I'm telling you now, the power of saying, no, I don't want to, is freedom. That's the freedom you're looking for. That's the freedom you committing to. When I look at my son on this picture and I see his name on that street sign, and I know where we come from. I came from being in a toxic, abusive home, raped at 5 years old, in and out of foster homes, in and out of mental hospitals. Everything they said I couldn't, I did it times 10. That's going to be your testimony. You see, the test that I was going through, I didn't realize it was preparing me for my testimony. And sure as I live, my children will be singing this testimony. And their children, and their children, and their children. You see, some of you think you see all these different people online and they don't really do real estate in real life. I do real estate in real life. Okay. I have to cut my time being in the studio to record and then actually out there with them bricks. We have a huge grand opening at one of the units we just bought with our inner circle group, 104 units. We're doing a huge ribbon cutting. People from all around the world is coming out. That is freedom. Watching people join me on this journey. You guys know Harriet Tubman walked over 100 miles, 116 miles. She did it dumb. She did it scared. She did it when her family didn't want to. She did it when her husband didn't want to travel with her, but she did it. And because she did it, she was a cycle breaker. Some of you are going to walk that 116 miles. I'm going to be seeing you guys in the room to be able to walk that too. There's something powerful standing here with my son. I went from being homeless to building homes. I can't make that up. I went from homeless to building homes. You can't tell me God is not real. The cycle ran into me. Oh, let me tell you what it looks like ending the cycle. It looks like everybody in your family mad and pissed off at you because they think you better than them. It looks like the enemy constantly coming knocking at your door. Every time you turn around, there's a battle you got to fight. It looks like the enemy trying to attack your finances and keep you confused about what your assignment is that God has you on because you so focused on making ends meet. But when you understand that the devil, everything he owns is stolen and that the only real provider is God, there is nothing that's going to stand in your way and hold you back from the promises. There's nothing. There's nothing. I realized when breaking generational curses, I couldn't look for support from those who passed it on. I couldn't look for support from my family members. I couldn't look for support from my parents. I couldn't look for support from my ancestors. When you realize it shouldn't take 1 hour to make $20. I'm talking to somebody tonight. It shouldn't take 1 hour to make $20. Time is the only currency you spend without ever knowing your balance. That's for somebody. Time is the only currency you spend without even knowing your balance. So you need to use it wisely. I believe that there are 4 types of wealth out there. There's financial wealth, which is money. There's social wealth, which is status. There's time wealth, which is freedom. And there's physical wealth, which is health. You guys need to be cautious of the first. You need to be careful of the jobs that offers number 1 and number 2, money and status. And they often forget about 3 and 4. Freedom and health. I want you focused on all 3 of them. Somebody put financial wealth, social wealth, time wealth, physical wealth. Put it in the chat form, Steph. I want them to be able to see it and make sure they understand that they are not changing 1 for 2 or 3 or 4. They're getting all 4. Right? Be cautious of that. Creating passive income is a requirement to becoming wealthy. Earned income is only as good as you are alive and are able to do the work. This is dangerous because you will always have to be on your best behavior. This is why I invest. I am not about to sit up here and dance for $1 and be on my best behavior, because the truth of the matter is I may have a bad day. And if I have a bad day, I run the risk of somebody who is paying me every single pay period to take that from me. Nah, I'm good. I'm straight. I'm not telling you guys to quit your jobs. I'm telling you to open up your eyes and see that they're only dangling number 1 and number 2. They're only dangling status and wealth. Oh, now you this. You got these initials behind your name. Oh, now you got this dollar. Now this. No, there's freedom that you need. You need to be looking and saying, hey, I don't want to be a well-paid employee. Some of you are well-paid slaves, making $100,000 a year. $200,000 a year. You have no freedom. You have zero. You can say you take trips when you want, but the truth of it is you may go 2 to 3 times a week. I'm talking true freedom, where you have the ability to say no. When you have the ability to say, I own me. That's what I'm talking about. Now, let's talk about how I started with $0, right? Because I told you guys, I'm going to give you the meat and potatoes, but I need you guys to understand that the process of this it's a lot of mindset. I can teach you guys how to make money, but if you still got the same mindset, you're not going to be able to process correctly what I'm teaching you guys. So if I had $0, I would look for free mobile homes, trailers that need light work and can remain in the trailer park. I will look on Facebook, Marketplace, Craigslist, local newspaper ads, and I will try to find a trailer with at least 2 to 3 bedrooms. Okay. Guys, there's free trailers on Facebook. I promise you they are. If you one who say, I don't have money, I'm telling you now, there's trailers out there for free. They want you to either move them or they can stay, but they probably need some work, okay? So if I had $0 after you find a free trailer, mobile home for sale, contact the seller and sign a bill of sale. You can meet them at the DMV to transfer the title. You can meet them at the DMV to transfer the title. I just showed you guys how to get a whole free mobile home. Go on Facebook, Marketplace, search mobile homes, and you're going to see properties that say free mobile homes. Some could stay, some have to be removed. Then if the trailer can remain in the trailer park, then all you have to do is sign a lease with the park, pay the lot rent, and turn on the utilities. Okay? If this is good, put good in the chat. If this is good, put good in the chat. Y'all, I'm trying to squeeze all this in an hour so I can be, I'm conscious of you guys' time. That's why I want to spend I want to spend 5 days with y'all really diving into this and going deeper. But I'm going to give you some meat and potatoes tonight. If I had $0 for the repairs needed, then I would see if I could qualify for a credit card. Some of you got really great credit and you just need to leverage it. I would keep the repairs under $5,000. You're still using OPM. So keep the repairs under $5,000. Pay the lot rent. Lot rent may be $200. Come on, y'all. We find $200 to throw a kid's birthday party. We find $200 when we want to go out and eat. We find $200 when we want to go buy a ticket to a concert. We can find $200. We throwing $200 up in sections. We can find $200. Come on, quit playing. If you're talking about me making some money, I'm going to find a way to make it happen. So don't tell me you don't have it, because now you're not being truthful with yourself. If I got denied for the credit card, then I will find someone who has $5,000 to partner with them and split the deal 50-50 with them. I will split the deal 50-50. Period. You get denied for the credit card, split it 50-50. After fixing up the property, then I will look for a buyer who wants to do owner financing. I would charge them $5,000 down and up to $800 a month for 2 years. I'm talking spicy right now. Somebody put spice in the chat. Let me know this is good. I'm talking spicy right now, baby. Wait, you mean to tell me because I found the trailer, that's my equity in the partnership? And the person who's coming with the $5,000, that's their equity in the partnership? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Don't devalue yourself. They wouldn't have access to this opportunity if it wasn't for you. They wouldn't be able to create this passive income if it wasn't for you. So if I had no partner and I used a credit card, then I would use the rental profit to pay the credit card bill. This is called assets, right? You're going to take a credit card, and now that credit card is going to be paid off with your rental income. And I would use the profit to buy another mobile home, preferably in the same park. So let's just break this down. Let's just say I did owner financing, $5,000 down payment, $800 a month in rental payments for 24 months. That's $24,200. $24,200 minus the $5,000 in repairs, whether it's a credit card and or a partner, equals $19,200. The lot rent is $200 a month times 24 months. That's $4,800 a month in lot rent. So I'm going to take the $19,200 minus the $4,800, and I just created a profit of $14,400. Hot diggity dog. Hot diggity dog. Somebody say income. Somebody put income in the chat right now. Oh, you guys don't think this real? Bruh, I have done this. I do this all the time. I have several mobile home parks. We do owner financing. Baby, let me tell you something. The best thing about owner financing is I don't got to go fix anything in their trailer. They're responsible. This is how you buy income. So versus getting that $5,000 credit card and going to buy a Chanel bag or a Louis bag or going shopping or going buying all these liabilities, do you guys understand that poor people liabilities are rich people assets? I'll say that again. Poor people liabilities is rich people assets. So when you buy the Jordans, it's a liability to you. It is an asset to Michael Jordan. I just want to break it down clear. I want us to be on the same page. When you go buy that Hershey candy bar in the store, that Hershey candy bar is a liability to you, and it is an asset to the Hershey family. Go look them up, a very wealthy family. I'm speaking to somebody in here today that cares about wearing Dior more than they care about having bricks. Because every time you buy Dior, you are on the asset column of somebody else, of the Dior family, and you're on the liability column of your side. I just don't understand that. I thought I was talking to people who said they wanted to invest in themselves. I thought I was talking to those who said there was some chain breakers in here. I don't know about you, but I got a problem with that. There's a reason why y'all see me wearing my brand a lot. I do wear some name brand things, but guess what? My bricks pay for that. I don't pay for that. So we gotta stop being walking billboards for these billionaires and start being our own billboard. We got to stop being billboards for all these billionaires and be our own billboard. An asset is something that put money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes it out. How many liabilities you got in your pocket right now? How many of those credit cards you used but didn't even go buy no bricks with it? On my 5-day property challenge, I bring in my brother. He teach you guys how to liquidate the credit cards and be able to go buy real estate. I teach you how to leverage. I teach you how to build those things. Let's keep going. Put in the work. Find someone. For those of you who scared to ask people to partner with you, let me tell you something. You're not asking for a favor. You're saying, hey, I want to make some money with you. Hey, I want to buy some income. If you come to me and say, hey, T, I got an income producing idea, asset, property, whatever, I'm listening because I enjoy buying income, because the more income I buy, the more time I buy. Isn't that strange? The way that money follows. So the more assets I buy, the more time I buy. This is too good for them, Steph. This is too good. This is too good. The more assets I buy, the more time I have. So why are we not buying more assets? Check the market every day. Go to meetups. Start networking with people. Now, let's go to the $5,000. I love sharing my $5,000 tax return story because that's how I got started. I used my tax return of $5,000, having the confidence I found something at that price. I started calling wholesalers to get on their list. A wholesaler called me back with a property that was for $9,000. But guess what, y'all? I didn't have $9,000. I didn't go and try to find an extra $4,000. I said, say, bro, $5,000 cash. We close soon as title clear. What's good? What's good? Come on, y'all know how to negotiate. What's good? Right? I started calling them wholesalers. He accepted the offer for $5,000. I used my real estate commission check for $3,000 to do the repairs. Y'all, I bootstrapped that. I didn't have everything figured out. I didn't know what my next step was going to be. But what I did know is if I did exactly what I did with my tax return, like I do every single year, I would be in the exact same position that I'm in again. So what I did not want to do is keep chasing my tail. Some of you are chasing your tail. Every time tax season comes, you want to pay off chunks and chunks and chunks of debt. I'm not Dave Ramsey. I don't know how Dave Ramsey was raised, but I'm telling you now, for somebody who was raised with nothing and had to get it out the mud, baby, I leveraged my tax return and I was able to use that tax return money to buy a property. I used the real estate commission to be able to fix up the property. I did not know I needed more money than that because I was all in with what I had. So I went to the bank with a 580 credit score. My banker, still to this day, a 580 credit score. Some of you have favor on your life, but I told you, favor and fear, you have to choose one. Either way, you don't see neither one. So you're going to believe in something. So you might as well choose. I'm choosing faith every single time. It's something radical about faith. It seemed like every time I believe, then something started happening. I am believing that there's going to be some investors in this room in 2025. I don't know who you are, but you're going to be coming up to me at our conference in Atlanta next year. And you're going to say, T, I heard you on that webinar and I'm claiming my bricks and I'm one of them right now. There's going to be one of you who's going to win a house that I'm going to be giving away next year. And it got your name already on it because you showed up in the room tonight. I don't know who that's for, but if you crazy and radical like me, I would be putting me all over the chat right now. I would be sending out the public notice. You have been served. I will be an investor in 2025. So I went to my banker thinking I was not qualified. He said, Terica, you could have came and got a loan from us. You send us a lot of business. So the banker sent out the appraisal. The appraisal came back at $60,000, guys, after the repairs. You mean to tell me a property that I was all into for $8,000 is now worth $60,000? What? That is insane. I'm not making this up. And y'all can go look me up over the internet. The receipts are they're all throughout the internet. Okay. Just go look at Google. You can Google your girl. It's out there. Okay. What's radical is somebody who was poor and homeless from New Orleans, Louisiana, a teenage mom, a foster care alumni, abuse survival, get invited to the White House. That right there is radical. That's what I'm saying. You see, when you start having faith and doing things supernaturally start happening. I can't even explain to you guys how we ended up at the White House. Somebody knew somebody that knew somebody that knew me that said I needed to go out there. And I'm sitting up there in that room. I'm in the room. No offense to my light bulbs that's on here tonight, but I'm like a fly in a glass of milk in that room, smiling ear to ear, happy to be in the room, knowing I'm in the right place. Because my faith has taken me here. My obedience has taken me here. I have been a good steward of everything God has given me. And because I've been a good steward and I've been sowing, it's time for me to reap the harvest. It's harvest season. So after the bank loaned me that, right? They give you 80% of the 60,000. So that means of the 60,000, they gave me $48,000. Do you understand in real estate, $48,000 means that you can buy $250,000 worth of real estate? All you have to do is multiply 225,000 times 20%, and that is the amount of money you have to put down. That's it. So you mean to tell me I'm going to use the money that the bank cut me from my first house to be able to go buy my next set of bricks? Yo, I don't have enough time to be able to break it down like that. But join me on my 5-day challenge. We're going to get all into the meat and potatoes of it. You mean to tell me that I was able to leverage that? So I just showed you guys how I would do it with $0. And I just showed you how I would do it with $5,000. What is your excuse for not investing? Say none right now in the chat. Say none. What is your excuse for not investing? It's either because you are afraid of what you don't know. You are lazy and think you don't have the time, but you do have the time because guess what? You are an investor. You're just not getting a return on it. You're scared, which fear and favor cannot be in the same room. So you're going to have to choose one. And if you want the favor and the anointing over your life, you're going to have to be an investor. So I went all in. My son's name is Terica, and that is us looking at his name on the street sign in a neighborhood that I birthed because of my yes. Because I planted the seeds, I committed to my yes. Now, this is what's going to be funny. There's almost 1,300 people on this call right now. And only a few of you are going to agree to walk to the next level. Only a few of you are going to say, T, I want more. I need to learn more. Like, I'm serious. In 2025, it is going to be my redemption year. You know, 2025 is a double portion year. So you need to go ahead and start claiming your double portion now. I was doing my devotion and I shared this over at the My First Million conference, right? And it was so amazing. I've read the story about Peter casting his net. I've read this story over and over again. But sometimes you can be casting your net in the wrong direction. I am reminded when Peter went fishing and the other disciples said they would go, they fished all night and caught nothing. Some of y'all been fishing your whole life and haven't caught a doggone thing. You don't understand why nothing is showing up in your net, but you continue casting and now you woe out and now you tired because you like, all I do is cast and I get nothing. I'm sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck. I'm sick and tired of trying to figure this out. I've been casting, and I'm tired of the net being empty. The next morning, Jesus stood up. They didn't even know who he was. This is for somebody. He called to them. He said, friends, have you not caught any fish? No, they answered. He said, throw your net to the right side of the boat. Oh. Wait, you mean to tell me all these people here on the boat and we've been casting and we've been throwing and nobody had the thought to tell me to cast the net on the right side of the boat? Oh, but when the good coach come in, oh, this is for somebody tonight. The coach come in and he tells you to throw it on the right side of the boat. The Bible says they had so many fish, but guess what? It couldn't even break the net. Somebody about to get an overload just for throwing their net in the right place. Some of you need to be mentored just a little bit further. I don't know who that is. Just put me in the chat right now. For those of you who saying, I want to be mentored. I want to go to the next level. I'm not promising you riches overnight, but I will tell you how to throw the net on the right side of the boat. The Bible also says when they threw the net on the right side of the boat, all of the fish that was inside of the net. Can I break this down? This is good stuff. This is really good. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Do you understand that fish was the currency? The fish was the currency. You mean to tell me press down, shaking, and run it over? If I just throw it on the right side, I'm going to be pressed down, shaken, and run it over. I'm not going to be able to contain it. There's some power in that story right there. There's some power in there for you. Throw your net on the right side. That means get yourself in the right room. You've been throwing your net on the wrong side, but it's a reason why thousands of people have been taught by me how to invest in real estate and throw their net on the right side. I'm not here to tell you you need $1 million. I'm telling you, you just need a net. And if you brave enough and you strong enough and you wise enough to believe to just throw that net on the right side of the boat, I'm telling you now, press down, shaking, and run it over. It's going to be your double portion. It's going to be your double portion. It didn't even tear the net. I believe you are not too old to start over. Some of you on here saying, I'm too old to start over. But let me tell you this. You're too old to keep doing what you've been doing. You're too old to keep doing what you've been doing. There's no reason why anybody over the age of 30 should be living paycheck to paycheck with the amount of knowledge out there. But you know what the problem is? Knowledge isn't free. You have to pay attention. Knowledge is not free. You have to pay attention. Do you even understand how powerful that is? You see, some of you look for things for free, but how many of you know you don't really care about those free things? But when you start putting your money on something, when you start investing into it, you start paying attention and you start caring. I committed to my yes. I planted the seeds, the little mustard seeds that I had, and God dug it. The harvest is still growing. It has not stopped. So what I'm telling you today now is this. I've shown you guys how to be able to go out and start fishing and how to throw your net on the right side of the boat. But how many of you guys say, T, I hear you. I want to walk that 5-day challenge with you. This 1 hour wasn't enough. This 1 hour wasn't enough for me. Just put me in the chat right now. This 1 hour wasn't enough. I need more. I need those 5 days. I need to hear that financial person that's going to come on there and tell me how I'm a liquidate. I need to be able to know how to write out my exit plan. I need to know how to be able to start investing in auction properties. I'm telling y'all now, this is going to be the best 5-day challenge of your life. You're going to learn information that you never even had a clue that was out there. I'm going to show you how to start buying properties for $1 at auction.com. In fact, you can go there tonight if you want, if you don't believe me. But you see, just being in this room, I just told you where you can go and start buying properties for $1. But how many of you are going to pay for the knowledge to pay attention? Are you committed to your yes? Are you committed to your yes? You see, the thing is this. You can leave this call today and say, T over delivered. She gave me what I came here for. She gave me the strategy. She said she was going to show me how to get started with real estate investing. And boy, did she do that. But I'm telling you now, it does not end there. It gets so much better and so much sweeter. But I'm telling you, at this time, at this moment, it's where I'm about to see the difference, okay? I'm going to see the ones who believe in faith. And I'm going to see the ones who believe in fear. Are you willing to commit like I did? I can only help those who are ready, willing, and able. Are you ready? Are you able? Are you willing to do the work, even starting tonight? Even starting tonight. Are you willing to start tonight, right now? Are you willing to?